welcome, it's Shannon. Now I have got the club kits is what I have here, and I have the printout. This one is actually the large die of the month, and it is called the Market Tote. And so you've got the tote bag, and you've got some, looks like peppers, and some, I don't know, a beet, some broccoli, some tulips, some bread, cheese, and milk. And it's super fun. You get all of these bits and pieces in here. We're also going to bring in the, this is also the stitching die of the month that is included. And I'm going to bring it in for this card for the carrot. I'm going to die cut out the carrot. We're not going to do any stitching. And then the carrot leaves is what we're going to use. And this is actually called Rooting For You. And it's like your garden with your veggies underground, and you've got Thanks a Bushel and Rooting For You, and that's the set. So we're going to be using predominantly this set, but we're going to bring in some carrots and stuff in there. And I've done all of my die cutting, so I'm just going to bring them in. And I want to show you, I've got my little tray here, and I want to show you how you create the bag. This die is a little bit different. It's a longer die, and it's actually 5.5 inches in length. So you could make a big one for a like a 5x7 card or something like that. But I'm gonna bring in some scraps here and just show you how I did it. So basically, I cut my bag to whatever size I wanted it, and then I just took and laid my cardstock up against this cutting. Now you could cut it out if you want, but I just laid it up against there, and just, it gave me that stitched seam, and I liked how that worked. And you could do a lot with this. You could bring in the embossing folder of the month, and you could actually take this and put it in here like this, and you could emboss it and have a nice little pattern on there. But I have chosen to use this die here, and I'm not completely certain what it's for, but this is what I'm going to do with it. I think it looks like a pocket for the front of the bag, and so I'm going to make a pocket on there. And then I used, this is just my craft cardstock, and then I had a little darker brown that I used for the handle. So we're going to do that. And then your stitching pieces for your bag that you're going to put on there. So I think we'll just get started assembling our pieces, and then we'll get our card together. So let's just work on our focal point. So I was thinking, like I said, that I wanted to make like a little pocket on here. And I think I'm even going to use some foam tape and give it a little bit of dimension so that I can stick something in my pocket. I'm just straightening that up. And I'm going to give myself just a little bit of foam tape here on both sides, and just give myself a little bit of dimension so that I can kind of tuck stuff into my pocket. And like I said, when you look at the picture, it really doesn't represent that particular die in the picture. I just don't see it. And it's right here. And so I'm going to use it for that is what I'm going to do. So I thought it'd be fun just to create a little pocket on the front of our car or our focal point. And then we could tuck something into it. And we'd have like a little decorative element. But I think it looks like a pocket. So that's kind of my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm just going to kind of line this up in the center here, and we've kind of got it raised a little bit. I didn't put any foam on the bottom or anything because, you know, we're not going to do a lot with it. And then we'll just bring in, hopefully my glue will work. I've been having fits with it. And we'll just put a little glue on there. And then we're going to get this laid down on our element. I'm just going to bring my little picture in. And we can do it like this. Probably needs to go over just a little bit, just like that. And I'm kind of lining my stitch up with that just to kind of give me an indicator that I have it, you know, straight or whatever. So I'm going to grab my tweezers, And we're going to grab our little decorative element here, and we're going to get it laid down on here. So I'm excited. This month's clubs are super fun. And it's going to be a fun set of videos. So I hope you enjoy watching them. And I will link all the materials in the description box below. And if you will shop with my links, I greatly appreciate it. It does help my channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra to use, to shop with the links, but it does help the content creators greatly. So if you're thinking about buying anything from Spellbinders, bump my links and it will truly help me. I try to bring new content daily to my channel, and shopping those links really helps. So here we go. We've got our market tote, and I think it's super fun. So now we've just got all the fun things that we're going to put inside of them. So I'm just going to lay this aside. And I thought this was super fun. And you could have yellow and, orange peppers as well. But I've chosen to use a red and a green pepper. And I'm going to use this, oops, sorry about the noise. I'm going to use this rainforest stem for this red one because it'll pop off of there. And then using the lighter on the green, we'll just add some, it'll just help the stem to show up better on the green pepper. And I think it'll be fun. So I'm just going to get this laid down on here. And we've got our stems on our peppers. So I thought it'd be fun to have a couple of peppers in there. And then we've got a fun head of broccoli. So you've got your broccoli stems and then your broccoli pieces, and you can position this however you want it. And get it laid down on here. And we'll just create like a head of broccoli. And I think that'll be super fun. So there we go. We've got that. And then, you've got your layers. And so we'll just kind of layer these up like that and just add dimension on it. And then I'm just using peridot, and I'm using the rainforest cardstock from Spellbinders just to have some different colors and to just make it look more interesting. And so that's what I've chosen to use on here, and we're just going to get it laid down on here. So super fun. I'm so excited that we've got our kits ready to go, and they're going to be releasing. Of course, you have until I think the 5th of the month to switch up your kits. So if you see some new stuff that you like and you want to switch them up, you're going to want to do it before they bill you. And always remember, add your new one before you get rid of one, because you want to make sure you always have one active on there. So you want to make sure you do that. It sounds like I have some company coming in, so I'm going to have to pause a moment. Okay, so that was my grandkids. They came to visit on the golf cart, so I had to pause a minute and visit with them. So we're just going to get started. So we've got our 2 peppers and our broccoli assembled. And I told you I brought in the carrot from the other set. So let's go ahead and assemble it. We've also got cheese with this set. But I die cut out a couple of carrots from the other set. And I thought it would be fun to have them in our basket as well. So I think we have plenty of items for our basket, but I just thought the carrots would be a fun addition. And I had picked some orange cardstock out, and I thought, well, I've actually got 2 colors here. You can't tell. There's just a slight difference. The one on the bottom is a little bit darker than the one on the top. But this is part of the stitch die of the month. And you could stitch, through these because there's holes in there. I don't know that I would. That's kind of a little fussy, but we'll see when I get ready to work with a stitching die. What all I stitch. But you certainly would not have to. This could just be some kind of dimension on the carrots or whatever. I suppose the lines, if you put the stitches in there, it would kind of look like the lines that, that are on your carrots when you get them. So we did put carrots in our garden last season and had carrots, and that was certainly nice. We had a really nice garden. I'm looking forward to this year's garden. So, of course, here in Indiana, it's too soon to plant really the rule historically has been that you don't plant before Mother's Day in Indiana. However, I have seen a lot of advertising for earlier planting, but we kind of follow the old school rule on our planting. But anyway, so there we've got a couple of carrots. We've got one with the lighter green and then one with the darker green. So we've got those. Now we also have a slice of Swiss cheese here. And I've used 2 different colors of cardstock. I think I've got beeswax, and I don't know what the other one is. But you've got a little notch here, and then you've got the little holes like the Swiss cheese, I assume. And so we're just going to get it assembled. And you've got a good debossed detail there so that it shows you exactly how to line it up. And of course, you've got that notch. So that makes it super simple to just line it up how it goes and just give it a good press. And then you've got your slice of cheese. It's super fun. So we've also got, I guess I'm going to call it a beet. It kind of reminds me of a beet. And it's interesting in that I went ahead and die cut out the veins for the stems with the same color as the beet. And then you have these, and I feel like I'm missing some of my leaves. Oh, there we go. We've got these leaves here that you would pair up kind of that veining with. So if you look at the picture, you've got the leaves behind it. And so I basically just kind of did similar to that. And so we would just kind of put some glue on here and add these leaves behind it and just have kind of some variety. And I'm going to kind of just tuck them and just kind of put the, you know, the veins right on there. And I don't know, I feel like I want to do it like this. Probably not the exact way, but I think that's how I'm going to do it. So that way I'll have kind of a lighter and then a darker and then a lighter and a darker. So we'll just offset them to where we've got some color going on there. And then I did put some glue. Probably need a little bit more glue on there. And we'll get that one laid down on there. And I've got some glue on my mat. So anyway, that's how you kind of assemble those. And then we can just add this to it. And we've kind of got like, I think this is a beet. I don't know. Looks like a beet to me. I suppose it could be a radish too. We do radishes in our garden. It certainly could be a radish. I don't know. You'll have to tell me. I didn't look at the die to see what it was. But anyway, so we've got that. Super fun. And then we have our milk carton. And I've just chosen to die cut it out in white. And I brought in some more of that poppy colored cardstocks because I thought it'd be fun to have a little bit more red on our design. So, and I had a little strip. And so I used it. Now this is one thing, you could probably use a lot of your scraps on these because, you know, they're fairly small dies. So, you could probably use some scraps from your scrap bin. And then we've got our milk. I'm kind of getting a gluey mess on my glass mat there, but I think it'll be fine. So we're just going to take this and get our label laid down on our milk bottle. And I think that's super fun as well. So we've got quite a bit of things for our market tote. Now I have got an extra, some extra pieces here that we're not going to use, but we also have our tulips. And so I've got several tulip stems here, and I've got different colors of our tulips, and we've got some leaves as well. So these tulips, they die cut out 2 pieces at a time. And I'm actually going to choose to offset. I've brought in 2 kind of complementary colors, and I'm just going to use the offset. So you've got one that is like the back, and then this is the top. And so I'm just going to use the 2 different colors and just kind of offset them so that we have like a 2-tone tulip. And I will tell you that the tulips are starting to pop up in our area already. I have seen some. So they are starting to pop up. And I'm just going to give that a little press, and we'll get it laid down on its stem. And then we're going to bring in our other ones and get them assembled. So here we go. And we're getting close. We're going to need to get a card base, and so that we can lay our materials down on there. And here's our other one. And we'll just get it laid down on our little stem. And one of my stems is not quite as long as the other because I was using just, you know, the scraps and kind of die cutting them out. It doesn't matter because I think I'm going to cut them down. I don't know. We shall see. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do it. And so we'll add this. And this is just the opposite of the other. We've got the dark on the back and then the lighter on the front. And we'll just have, you know, two tones. So, and we've just about got all of our things assembled. So the storm radio has been going off and on all night. We were supposed to get, we had like a high percentage of chance for rain all day today. And I don't think we got very much. It wasn't raining where I was at, but my husband said that we did get just a little bit of rain here. But it's in the forecast for all week. So I know the allergens are pretty high, so it would help if we did get a little bit of rain. I'm still a little bit scratchy from the bug that I had, and yeah, I might have had that in the wrong direction. So we'll get some glue on there and get it laid down. And then we just have our tulip leaves that we can add to them. And I think we're just going to cluster these together is what I thought we would do. Is just kind of cluster our tulips together and like that. So I think what I'll do is just put a little bit of glue on the side of this, and I bent my stem a little bit, but it won't matter. And then just kind of lay it down there. And then we'll just do the same thing here. And we're going to get that one laid down on there. And then I think I'll just put a little bit of glue here, and we'll just cluster these all together. Just kind of like that. Because we've got quite a bit of stuff here to go into our market tote. So there we go. And we're going to add some of our leaves to it. And so we'll just lay them down here like that. And I cut out several of them so we can just kind of position them wherever we want them. I think I'll just put a little bit on here and just get it laid down on there. And we're probably not going to see the stems, so it's going to be okay. I might put, I think I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so let me grab a card base, and we'll get ready to get all this laid down on our card. Okay, so I cleaned off my glass mat, got rid of all that glue. I took our embossing folder of the month that is called Market Weave, and I just took cream panel, and I used our Market Weave embossing folder. And I'm going to bring in a cream top folding card base, and we're going to get this laid down on here. And then we're going to get our card assembled, and I think it's going to come together very nicely. Now, this is a lot. It is a big area. So it should fill up this card, this A2 size card pretty nicely. So I'm just going to get some glue on here, get our embossed panel laid down, and then we will start to consider how we're going to put it together. So, whoops, we got to get that lined up better. All right, there we go. Give it a good press. All right, there we go. And then we're just going to start tucking things into our bag. So our bag, our market bag, will just, I mean, it's just going to fit top to bottom on there. And I could even, because it's a raw edge, I could just cut off a little bit off of the edge of it. And then it would give us a little bit more room. So let's just do that. We can do that. And I'll just line it up here. Try not to mess it up since we've got it all assembled. And let's just take a little bit off of there. Hopefully I get that pretty straight. That'll give us a little bit more room to work with on our A2 size panel. There we go. We won't have to worry about it kind of hanging off the edge there. And then we're just going to start tucking. Now I was kind of considering maybe kind of cutting my stems down and tucking my flowers into my outside bag here. So let's just, I'm just going to cut them off and see if that might work. I think that could work and be really pretty. So let's go ahead and just put some glue on there and we'll tuck them in. I kind of had that in mind when I was thinking about the pocket, and I thought it could be really pretty in there. Now I've got some glue seeping out, so I want to clean that up. So there, we've got our florals in our pocket. I think that looks nice. And then we're just going to start tucking stuff. So I think we'll put our bread on this side, some glue, and we'll just get it tucked on in here. And just kind of have it on the side like that. And then we've got that. And then we can just start kind of tucking our other things. I think our milk, you know, could kind of go, we could actually put it, let's actually put it on this, let's put this on the side here, but let's just kind of tuck some things together. Let's cluster some things and then we'll bring them in. Let's bring our cheese in and kind of lay it here with our bread a little bit. I think we can kind of tuck that in there with our bread. And then I think our broccoli could kind of go back behind there. So let's do that. I've got some glue on the back of that, so that's going to work out nice. And we'll just kind of tuck that in. We've got our broccoli. Could raise it up a little bit more. I want to make sure I have room for all of my things. So I've got my, we might not use that. We might have more than we need. Let's get our carrots in there. And we can put our carrots kind of on our broccoli. So, because I want the carrots to kind of stick up. And yeah, let's kind of, we can't get too high because we don't have a lot of room there. So we'll just position that on top of this one on an angle. Just trying to figure out how I want to get them all in there. And I definitely want this red pepper because I think it really pops off of all of the green. And I think it'll look nice on there. So we'll tuck that in there with our broccoli. We got a lot going on here. And then we have our beet and our milk. So let's just put, let's lay our beet kind of on the side of our milk. And then we'll tuck it. Ooh, it's going to be tight. We've got a lot of elements. I'm afraid we're not going to see our beet. So I'm going to have to tuck it in. That's going to cover up my cheese. My market basket is really full. Let's just put it behind here. Just let it peek up here. And we'll just add it. That looks good. And then we'll put our milk. Let's see if we can get our milk on here to where we can get it to show nice. And we can put our, that looks nice. So I think we got a little bit carried away with our stuff. I got a little bit too much, but I think it's gonna work. I'm gonna position my milk a little bit. I'm gonna straighten it up a little bit. Let's see if I can straighten it up a little bit. Tuck it in. Isn't that cute? Super fun. All right, let's go ahead and get some glue on this and we'll get it laid down. I'm not sure that our handle, I'm gonna have to put some glue on there and glue it to my elements because I'm not sure we've got some layers going on here, so not sure if they're gonna adhere, you know, that the top of the handle will adhere to that. I might need a piece of foam or something, but we'll just put lots of glue all around here. Let's see if we can get it stuck down on here. So fun, look at that. We do have a little bit of our greenery hanging off there. Let's kind of tuck that up and then give our handle a little press. Very fun. Super fun set, very large. I think it'd be really fun on a 5x7 card. I think you know, could make things fit a little bit better on a 5x7 card, but it certainly will fit on this A2 size card. So I've got a little bit of it hanging off here. I'm just gonna trim it down. There we go. And we have that, and that's super fun. Now for a sentiment, I didn't really have anything, but I brought in my lavender and I had Just Be Happy for Today. And I thought that could be cute to add that. I know we've got quite a bounty of things in our bag, and so I think we could just be happy for today. And I think that would look nice on there. So I think I'm gonna do that. So this sentiment here is from the Lavender Fields collection. One of the ephemera packs has a bunch of little pieces in here. And so I pulled it out and thought it would be fun to use this for our sentiment on our card. And I think it's super fun. And there we go. So we've got our market tote full of all of our fresh food, and I think it looks lovely. So I hope you like it. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye now. Please consider hitting that like, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel.